So I'm a little scared to do this video, but I think it's gonna be fun. Hi everyone, Andi here. I'm a vintage home decor seller. I sell primarily through Etsy. And in today's video, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna show you what sold from my haul videos. Okay, so before we jump into the what sold portion of this video, I have a few things I wanna make sure I explain before we get started. First thing is I am a part-time reseller. I'm not a full-time reseller. So that definitely is reflected in my sales. Most of my listings have shipping baked into the cost. So I kind of go over that and make sure that I back that out of the total. So that way you kind of know how much I pay for each item, what did I sell it for, and then subtracting out listing fees and shipping fees. So that way you have a better idea at how much money I actually made on each of these items. And another thing I want to make kind of clear, because I know that a lot of people get super excited when you buy something, fairly cheaply, and then you get to sell it for a big profit. A lot of people are so excited by that. I love that. I love that people can find value in things that I would never know would be valuable. But some people get a little weird about it. They don't like the fact that you're selling something that you got for $1 for $78. It just doesn't sit well with them. So if you are one of those people, I just want to let you know kind of what goes into the actual selling of an item. So I know a lot of people think, oh, Andi, you love to thrift. This is not a job for you. And it is definitely a side hustle, part-time job. With everything that I sell, I first, of course, have to go to the thrift store and find it, which takes time and gas to do. Then once I bring it home, I have to clean it, I have to research it, I have to photograph it and inventory it, and then I have to list it on Etsy. If you're an Etsy seller, you probably know Etsy wants you to fill out about 1 billion different fields in their listing, and you can't save them until you've already filled out 75% of the form. And then once it sells, you have to package it up and ship it out. So there's a lot that actually goes into this process. I would say every single item that I list probably has at least an hour, if not an hour and a half, devoted to it. So this I definitely consider that when I price the item. Not only is what is it going for in terms of the market and what people are selling it at, but also my own personal time in terms of actually, is it worth my time listing this piece? So I actually turn down a lot of things at the thrift store, things that I don't think I can make a lot of money on, because frankly, it's just not worth all the time that it takes to do this. Okay, I'm done with all the disclaimers. I can't wait to show you what some of your favorite pieces from my haul videos sold for on Etsy. Okay, so let's get started. You probably have noticed that the lighting has changed. And of course, as I'm filming this, a huge rainstorm has come through. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so there's a lot of rain that comes through. So yeah, so I apologize if the lighting is weird in comparison to my usual videos, but it just started to get really dark. And I was afraid I was not even gonna be able to read my notebook. So yeah, I have my notebook with me today. I have a lot of info to share with you, so I wanted to make sure I had all the details here at the very end of the videos, when I will tell you how much overall I paid. We'll deduct the fees and the shipping, and then I'll give you kind of a grand total of how I turned X, investment into X profit. So we'll get to that at the end. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. But first up is this Italian bowl that I got while I was out thrifting at an antique mall on vacation. I thought I was gonna keep this beautiful piece because it just really spoke to me, but alas, I had to sell it because I just accumulate so many things. So this bowl I actually got for $8 and I sold it for $58. So really good profit there. Shipping on it was $12. So definitely was kind of on the pricier side to ship. And then just as a general rule of thumb, my shipping tends to be around $10 to $12 per item. So kind of on the high side. So it's one of the things that I definitely factor into the price because they offer free shipping. So the next item is this brass tray. I got this at the Portland Flea, which is an outdoor flea market that they have once a month. I fell in love with this tray, especially since it had the cute little feet on it. I got this for $15, so a little more than I usually spend on a piece. Usually I try to spend less than $10, unless it's something that's very valuable. And I sold it for $58. And then shipping on this was $11. So the next item is this circle tray. So I actually went to an estate sale and found this. It was the last day of the estate sale. It was like an hour before they were ready to like send everything to the dump. So I got this for $5 and I sold it for $68. Now this was very pricey to ship. Brass trays are really expensive to ship because they are bigger in size. And so it was $19 to ship, which is just crazy. Now shipping prices do vary depending on where in the world it's going to. So something I'm shipping to on the West Coast is definitely a lot cheaper than something on the East Coast. That does factor in, but generally speaking, I thought it was a pretty good flip. So the next piece I actually got locally off of Facebook Marketplace is this green Navajo vase. I loved this vase. It was another piece that was so hard to get rid of. I actually drove like 45 minutes to pick this piece up because I loved it so much. I bought it for $20 and then I sold it for $89. So Navajo pottery is very collectible. I have a lot of pieces. I sell a lot of pieces. They're always very valuable. I tend to pay up for them because they tend to sell. So I don't mind spending a little bit more, and because they're so special, I just have to pick them up. So this piece was $14 to ship. So on the pricier side, and also part of that is because it's so fragile, I had to make sure I had extra insurance and then also extra padding, which adds to the cost. The next item is this teeny tiny camel, and I know you're probably thinking, oh yeah, this is probably so cheap to ship, Andi, and it's not. Literally, like, everything is so pricey, even when it's tiny. So this camel I got for $9 and I sold it for $37. So not as profitable as some of the other things on this, like on this list. But I'd like to have a few things in my shop that are a little lower priced, because everything in my shop is usually, I want to say on average, like $68 or more. So it's kind of nice to have a few pieces that are a little less than that, because I'm finding really cute things, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what, it may not have as much of a profit margin, but I still want to pick it up. So this piece is $14 to ship. So yeah, which is crazy. But anyways, I really did love it. So I think it was kind of still worth selling. So the next item is another Navajo vase. Like I said, I sell a lot of Navajo vases. This one I loved because it had that like glossy and also matte black finish. I have not seen one of these before, so definitely picked it up. I got it for $4 at the thrift store and I flipped it for $58. So I thought that was a really good profit, and I shipped it for $13. So definitely on the pricier side. This next flip is probably one of my favorites because it is this little ceramic village. So cute. I love miniatures. I got it for $1. It was in this random Ziploc bag. I happened to go to a like rummage sale. I was on a bike ride with my family, came across this weird rummage sale in someone's yard, and this was there. So I picked it up and I was like, I'll just give it a try, see how it does. So I listed it for $68 and it sold for $68. So from $1 to $68. So that was crazy. And it was $15 to ship. It was actually really heavy. And so I was like thinking when I was packaging it up, I'm like, ooh, I hope this is like under $10 to ship. No. Nope, not really. Definitely more expensive to ship because it was that heavy. So the next item you may remember from a video that I did where I went to Tacoma, Washington. I happened to grab this little snuffer that I found at a kind of like really weird like estate sale that they were having. It was all so expensive. I mean, the pricing was insane, except for this candle snuffer, which was $1. And it looked a lot like a Harry Potter wand. So I thought, I'm probably gonna use some of those keywords. And someone who might like Harry Potter might want this candle snuffer. So bought it for $1, sold it for $28. So not a huge flip, and it was $14 to ship, which is just crazy because it's, super long. So not like a really amazing profit in comparison to some of the others, but I still would recommend maybe looking for candle snuffers because they do seem to be really popular right now. The next item is my best flip of this list of 14 items. It is this vintage plant stand. I got this in Vancouver, Washington at an antique mall. Love this place. It was $37, so definitely a little more than what I usually spend on each item. You probably have realized that because most of the things I'm buying are like under $10. But I thought I would pay up for it because I thought there was still a lot of value in this piece because it was just so unique. So I decided to list it at $225 and it actually sold. So that was amazing. It was expensive to ship. It was $55 to ship. But even if you backed out, you know, like the 80 some bucks it costs in terms of like the actual like investment that I made into the piece, it's still a really good profit margin. So if you have an appetite for selling furniture, you can definitely make a lot more selling furniture than you can like the small pieces that I typically sell. It's just now without a lot more headache because you usually have to make your own box. Shipping is a little less straightforward because you may have to ship it through freight or you may have to ship it through Greyhound. You know, some carriers just don't handle super large boxes. So things to keep in mind. So if you were like thinking about getting into the reselling game, or if you are reselling and thinking about getting into furniture, it's definitely a little trickier. I was definitely like cursing the world as I was making a box, but I learned a lot from the process. So I think I'm still gonna continue to dip my like toes into it a little bit, but probably not go beyond like plant stands and stools. I think I'm gonna stick with those because those are a little bit easier to ship. Just a few more items to share with you. So the next one is this brass candle holder. I fell in love with it. It was so interesting because of like the curved shape and the tiny little nubbin feet, like super cute. Brass candlesticks are very, very popular right now. I bought this for $3.99 and sold it for $32. So that was a pretty decent flip. Shipping was $14, so definitely not as high of a profit margin as some of the other pieces, but I think it's always worth kind of having certain pieces in your shop from really a keyword perspective. You know, they really drive traffic to your shop, and then someone comes to your shop, you know, they're looking for that, and then they fall in love with another piece that may have a better and higher profit margin. So something to keep in mind for anyone who's like reselling. It's like, okay, why do you have items in your shop that may be you know, you won't make as much money on, and some of it is just, it's just helpful to actually have them in there for keywords and traffic. So the next piece I got for, well, it's hard to tell how much I got it for because it's part of like a bulk purchase at a garage sale. Fell in love with this brass pitcher. Thought it was so unique and cool. So I got it for probably like $1. I actually got like 10 things for $2.50. Well, we'll just like round it to $1. So it may have only, if you like itemized it out, it would have been like 10 cents. But anyways, so let's just say I got it for $1 to make things easier, and I sold it for $58. So pretty good flip. And this actually was on the cheaper side to ship. It was $10, partly because it was actually fairly light for brass. It was definitely a lightweight brass piece rather than like those super solid heavy brass pieces. So that was kind of a nice surprise. Even though it was bigger, it was lighter. Lighter usually wins out when it comes to shipping costs. So this piece was definitely on the profitable side for me. And then the final item, which was another really good flip, was this vintage copper tray. I paid $1 for this at a rummage sale, a church rummage sale. I was kind of bought it on a whim. I probably would not have picked it up if it wasn't for the fact that when I turned it over, it was dated like the 1940s, because copper is not something I'm particularly interested in. Usually it's brass. If you watch my channel, you know I love brass. So yeah, usually I would not pick up something that was copper, but it really is beautiful. Like the piece was beautiful, so well done. And the fact that it was that old was just incredible to me, especially since it was in such good shape. So picked it up for $1, sold it for $78, which is amazing. Shipping was $20 on it. So that was like a bit of a bummer in terms of how much the shipping was, but still like a really, really good profit for something that I picked up so reasonably. So that concludes the breakdown of items that I've sold that you may have seen in my haul video. So now I know you're wondering, Andi, how much did you actually make after this when you add everything up and subtract all of the fees and the shipping and the cost of goods, etc. So I will tell you. Okay, so I spent a total of $106 when you add up the cost of goods for all 14 items. Shipping cost me $211. And then Etsy took a 5% fee, and that was $42. So My grand total sales were $857. So $857 minus $106 in cost of goods, minus $211 in shipping, and then $42 in Etsy fees left me with a grand total of $498 in pure lovely profit. So that right there, friends, is one of the reasons why I love reselling, which is it's amazing to me that you can find something that someone donated to a thrift store because they were like tired of it, didn't like it anymore, was out of style or not their taste, and I can take it and turn it into nearly $500 in profit. So that is just amazing to me. I'm so, so grateful that my little side hustle hobby is actually producing some money for my family and helping prevent me from being a broke hoarder. So if this is something that you like, if you enjoyed this video of what sold in my Etsy shop, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will try to fit more of these in between my haul videos. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this video because I know it's a little bit different than what I usually do, which is strictly thrift with me home decor hauls. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like and subscribe video. It really, really helps grow my channel. And if you're looking for more thrifting content between my haul videos, make sure you're following me on Instagram. I share little bits of my thrifting life and also sneak peeks of some of the items that I pick up before they actually make them into my haul videos here on YouTube. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next thrifting and decorating video. Take care.